Welcome back. This is a quick tutorial using Laravel 5, and we will create a simple relationship between two different tables using the relationship that comes with Laravel. Now in this example I will be creating a table name called orders, and each order will have a user associated. So in this example I will show you how can you easily relate both tables without using lots of code. Now for this particular example I'll be using the last video current files. So in fact, if you haven't noticed, the only thing we have at the moment is simply a protected page with your username here. Now I will actually show all the orders associated with this user in the same page. Now the first thing we have to do is simply create the migration for Laravel 5. Now this is created by using the PHP command artisan and then make, and you can actually set a migration and the name of the migration, which will be, for instance, create order table. Now if this is done successfully, you should see the file under the database migrations. Now this file will have two different functions, the up and down function. Each function will do different things. So in fact here will need to be set as drop and the table name, which will be orders. And for the other one I'll be creating, oops, I mistyped there. Alright, and for the other one I'll be creating the same as the other migration we had here, but changing the table name into orders and removing all this stuff. So this will create a table name called orders with the increments, timestamps. We will create, we can actually set up the user ID. Now this will be the user ID that will own these orders. So let's say the order, for instance, can have a name, for example, like it can have multiple parameters, but we'll just be using this one as an example. Now after this is done correctly, we should simply run the command php artisan migrate. Now this command will migrate the table into the database, and so if this is done correctly we should create the model now. So this is done by using the php artisan make model order, for instance. Now if this is done correctly you should see the order class here. Now this class will help us develop the connection between the PHP and the database really quick, and we will define the relationship over here. So let's go ahead and check. We can actually close the migrations and let's go here. Now as you remember, this is the last function we run. This is the home directory, so I will create a space here and then we will echo all the orders here. Now to do this, make sure you import the class here. Just make sure you actually use the app order model that we just created, and we can echo an array at the moment, an object array, by using the order all. Now as you can see, if we try to run this, we get an error, of course. Alright. So as you can see, there's an empty array because there's no orders at the moment. So what can we do? Well, first of all, let's just try we'll put a messy code here, add order, and we'll put order equals new order, whoops. Now the order name is gonna be my first order. The order user ID is going to be the auth user ID. Now this is all the information we actually need. And so in fact we can try running it. Alright. Now whoops, I forgot to save the order, so let's run it again. Alright, now you should see the array containing the user ID, the name with the first order, and the timestamps. Okay. Now each time I run this, it will change. So let's simply create another order, my second order. And as you can see, it's on here as well. Now I will just document this code at the moment. And so it doesn't interact with us. So as you can see, nothing else is loaded here. Now, what we can do now is simply, yeah, why not? Let's create an order with, instead of my ID, we'll put an ID of 2. And you will see why in a second. So we can reload it and we can see another user ID to it. Now, this is as well with my second order, it's the same name at the moment. So let's go ahead and comment this again. Now, as you can see, the orders we got, it's all of them. Now we only want to get the orders that are from our user, which is the user 1. Now we can do this using relationships, so we can use this, the old method. The old method should be something like where the user ID, it's the auth user ID, and we get the results. So this should only contain my, oops, where did I go wrong here? I don't actually know what the fuck I did. Oh sure, I forgot the brackets here. Now this is only the orders that are from our user. As you can see, the user ID is 1, the user ID is 1, and there's not the user ID number 2. Now this is the old way, and we can use the relationships to create a simple relation. And now the way we do it is simply go to our order model, and we can create a public function, let's call it user. Now this order belongs to the app user model. Now we can do the same into the user model by just creating a function here. Let me check where's the best place to create a function. Public function, and now we want to get the order. You could say whatever name you like, and the order will give us that this user has many pp orders. Alright, now as you can see, we got both relations created now. So instead of echoing everything like this, we can simply put the auth user, that's the user model. We get the order or orders, I don't remember. Orders. Let's put it like that. Now this will give us a syntax error. User. I probably forgot it. Of course, we have to return all of this data in both of them. Now if this goes good, we should see the same thing by just using the simple relationship. As you can see, we only used the auth method, and from the users we got all the orders. Now we can do the exact same thing in another way. Let's say we want to get from the orders from the order where let's say the ID is 1. That will be a variable order. So as you can see, if we echo the order user, that will be an object with the user containing. Check. Of course we have to get the first result here. Now this will return as the object of the first user, of the user that actually belongs this order. So if we set the order number 2, we should see the exact same thing, but if we set the to number 3, we should see an error because there's no user with the ID of 2. Now if we create, for instance, a new user equals new user name, it's gonna be John, or let's put David maybe. The user male David, and the user password. We can create it like this, or maybe we can just log in, but there's no problem. So the user password is a hash make password user safe. Now we have to use the hash farcade, and we reload. Now we should see the David, which is the user with the ID of 2, and we can even create a user called maybe, I don't know, whatever, runs, and refresh. Now we'll have the user created. We can remove this. Now we got 3 different users, and we can now, for instance, create a users, for example, runs order, and the ID will be 3, which is Ren's ID at the moment. We save it. Now that we got one different order for each person, we can check the order 4, which is not created yet. Oh yeah, it is. Which belongs to Ren's. Now we can simply do it without calling 2 different tables. So as you can see, using the relationships from Laravel, it's pretty much easy just to work with them.